go. The agency whose goal for people never meet, that's probably not the one you should use. And our main goal is put two people in front of each other and see what happens. A special guest, Uliana. You might have seen her on a few previous webcasts. Uliana was from Ukraine and worked for years as interpreter over there, and also assisting with video calls, so she has a lot of insights on dating in Ukraine, Eastern Europe in general.
Hi everyone, I'm happy and excited to be on this show. And yes, as Anna said, I'm from Ukraine, so I will be happy to answer all your questions about Ukraine. I'll do my best at least.
Specific red flags to look out for when dating Ukrainian women?
Interesting question. Red flags to look out for when dating Ukrainian women. It's easy to feel when the woman is interested in you. You can feel it on the very first date. Usually Ukrainian women are very expressive and very emotional, and they will show if they are interested or not. I would say Ukrainian women, for most of them, it's hard to fake their feelings and their emotions. I would say you need to be careful, of course, and see if she's really interested in you. And I'm pretty sure you will feel that.
See if she has time for you. If she can send you one email once a week. Say, oh no, I'm just too busy. It's common. It's not only for Ukraine, but if your so-called girlfriend never can have time for you. And please also understand, if you're talking about Ukraine, war is a factor, and I had guys who've been frustrated that, oh, she's not calling me back today, but there is a power outage, she cannot talk to you right now. What she's supposed to do, she has to wait.
See if she is open to talking to you whenever she has power, because if the person is interested, even if she has problems with service or she doesn't have power, she will find time. There is like a schedule we usually have for when the power should be shut down. So we approximately have an idea when we're gonna have a power. You should just be careful and see. You will feel that. You will feel if she is really interested. Because if the person is really interested, she will find time for you. Even if it's gonna be like once a week. Even if she's like super busy and she's working 2 jobs, because Ukrainians are very hardworking people. Some people I know, they're like working multiple jobs and 6 days a week. Even with all these factors, you can still find time to spend a couple seconds to shoot a message to you or have a brief call. So you just need to pay attention to these factors.
Next one from Mitch. I've seen YouTubers say Ukrainian girls who join sites like this never saw meet their husband, with some sites paying ladies to communicate and never meet. What is your experience, Uliana?
Well, I can say that my experience, especially when I was working as a translator and I was translating on the real meetings, not just the video calls, I would say we never had any problem with, women meeting the clients. They were all happy to meet, especially those who previously had the correspondence with this man. They obviously were showing up on the meeting, but my experience is that, I never had any problems with ladies not showing up to the meetings or not willing to meet the man.
And actually, Uliana mentioned correspondence. Side note I want to tell guys, usually we tell you don't have to write letters, just go and meet people. And generally speaking, that is the case. I noticed lately a lot of ladies just say, we don't want to go out on blind date. I want to get at least 1-2 letters from a guy, just tell him who he is. Because when we call a woman and trying to set up a date, we just go off your profile on the website, which is basically 3-4 sentences. It's not enough and barely any photos. So it's really hard for a woman to make her decision. So when we send her 10-year-old photo, 3 words about you, and she's like, yeah, I don't know this guy, I'll just skip. So in this case, you might want to write to her 2, 3, 4 paragraphs about yourself, about your life, what you're looking for, to figure out if you're compatible or not. So for example, if you're looking for a younger lady who never wants to have any kids, you probably want to cover that in the first message to see if that's, you're not compatible, you don't even go on a date, it just doesn't make sense. Don't waste your time, her time, save yourself a date and go meet someone who's better match.
Right. And if you're far from her, for example, you started the correspondence with her, and yes, you don't want to spend too much time on correspondence. So if you are far and you cannot meet her in the nearest future, we would also suggest to do the video calls after a couple of letters. Don't focus on correspondence. It's way better to see the person, right? Even if it's on the camera, on the computer, there's still gonna be a translator who is gonna set up the call, who's gonna help her. Even if she speaks English, there is sometimes, I had the experience when she has perfect English, but she still needs some kind of help. So definitely focus on calls, because it's way better. You can see the person, you can see the mimics, you can see her eyes, the way she looks at you, what kind of questions she asks. This is way better, and it gives you more perspective and more understanding if she's really interested. Right, Edwin has an interesting question. How can someone differentiate between a reputable Ukraine dating agency and a scam agency? When you start the correspondence with the woman, and after like couple letters, I would say like 5-6 letters, like I said before, that's what we usually recommend to our clients, is to focus on doing calls and meeting the woman if it's possible, of course, if you guys are not too far, versus corresponding. So if she is open to talk to you on video camera, and if she's open for a meeting, then this is a good sign that the agency is legit, that the agency is real and the woman is real, because you will see her on camera, and this is the good sign. But yeah, what else do you think?
No, I totally agree. Video call with a woman would be a good indication. And again, especially if I know guys that can write and write and write and write. Some cases for years, never even think about just doing a video call and say, oh, I have a girlfriend in Ukraine. Like, oh, girlfriend, you have not even seen her. It's not your girlfriend. So,
Exactly.
Just to do a call, see if you guys compatible, and that's a good way to tell, if she's real or not, and go from there.
Yeah, writing a letters is good, but seeing a person, see her face, see her eyes, the way she looks at you, what questions she's asking, what mimics she has on her face. You can read all this, you can sense if she's interested or not, so it's definitely a great investment. It doesn't have to be for like the call for lasting for hours. It can be 30 minutes to 1 hour will be enough for you to understand if she is open for you enough and if she is interested. Because again, like we said before, pay attention if she's asking questions, if she's not just answering whatever questions you have, but she's also interested in your life. This is things you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, and of course, we guys been like today, we've been pushing you just go. The agency whose goal for people never meet, that's probably not the one you should use. And our main goal is put two people in front of each other and see what happens. Would you say Ukrainian girls value emotional support over financial support?
Probably yes. I would say, of course, especially right now during such a hard time, for all Ukrainians, they need support because they live in a war. Those who live outside of Ukraine, they still also need a support because at some point they left their house and their families probably too, so they also need an emotional support. So yeah, definitely this is something all Ukrainians need, so yeah, definitely will be appreciated.
But also don't forget that emotional support is important, but also financial aspect of relationship also is a factor, because when she's gonna be coming here, remember, she won't be able to work for a while. She's gonna be even if she wants to work and continue her career, she won't be able to for some time, and she needs to learn the language and the paperwork and all other complicated things. So she'll be relying on you. And of course, she doesn't want her life level becoming lower compared to, so she was really living a really good life in Kiev. She really doesn't want to downgrade that much. I understand like every couple has ups and downs, but she wants to keep at least certain level or whatever she had at home.
Yes, of course. Again, I cannot tell about all Ukrainian women, but at least like those Ukrainian women I know, they don't feel like asking for any financial support. They don't like to owe anything. So you shouldn't expect her to ask for money or anything like that. She will be happy if she just receives some kind of help, financial or not financial, and she will appreciate that. But she will not ask.
Ukrainian women are very proud. Yes, and I'm gonna for them. I mean, again, there are exceptions, but for the most part, women are just too proud to ask for it. Even though in
Yes.
some cases they will need it. So, but it's up to you, I guess, to see that and take action. If that's the case.
Interested? Learn more at
ukrainesingles.com.